So we are going to continue from where we ended last time. Okay. So in order for us to begin, I'm going to address the last question that one of us asked about being able to print only this part and leave out the rest of this part. Okay. So what I actually forgot to mention as I was talking about creating borders. Okay. Remember we said if you want to create borders, you come here, and if you want to create all borders, you choose all borders after you have what? Highlighted all this. Just the space where you're working from. Then when you choose all borders, and then this part is going to become what? Bold, and it's going to be sort of like selected away from the rest of the what? Of the sheet that you're working with. Okay, so what I forgot to mention is that when you actually select this part, when you try to print out this, okay, so let's just go to file. When I click on file and I notice that I don't know if it's network, but when I click on file, you are unable to see from your end. Hello, able to get me? Hello, kindly confirm if you're able to get me. Hello, are you able to get me now? Sorry, I lost connection. All right, then we shall proceed. I apologize for that. Network kind of disturbed me. Okay, so I was saying that when you select this part and you want to print it out, then you go to File. When you click under File and you click on Print, I just want us to see the preview of how this document looks when you want to print it out, just so I can answer the question. Okay. Are you able to see it on the other side? So you're only going to have the part that you've created borders on. So in short, when you create borders, you are telling Microsoft Excel that this is the only part that I'm interested in. This is the part that you should print out. Okay? This is the part where my data is. You understand? Okay. Since you understand,
which part? You mean which part? The whole column?
the rows and the columns where you have created borders on, which is just this part. Let me just go back so that you see what I'm talking about. You notice we created this sheet and we added this data, right?
By the time we're doing this class, I wasn't present. I was absent, so I'm a little bit blind.
Oh yeah, I did not share the video for this class.
Yes. I mean, no.
Oh, I apologize for that. I remember I saw the question, but I don't know how I. Okay, yeah. So basically, we created borders. Like I mentioned, if you want to create borders, for instance, if you want to create borders here, let me just illustrate this for a bit. If you want to create borders for this particular part here, okay, you highlight it like that, and then you go under fonts. We have what? Borders here, if you're able to see my cursor. Then you click on the drop down arrow and then you choose what? All borders. When you choose all borders, you notice that this part becomes bold and it's selected. You're able to see this?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically this is where we are. Someone asked a question that if you only want to print out the part where you have created borders, how do you do it? So in answering that question, I'm saying that once you create borders, you're already telling Excel that this is the part that I want to print out. This is the part that has my data. Okay? So this is the part that we saw when we did a preview. Okay? Great. So I'm just going to go back under print. And this is the part that I'm talking about. Only the part which is on top here. This. The part that has our data, and that is what we want to print out. So I'm going to go back. Are there any questions? Should we move on? Today we are supposed to start looking at functions. Can we move? Can we proceed? Okay, silence means yes, so we are going to proceed. So before I start doing the practical that you'll be able to follow, let me just share the spreadsheet so that we talk about a few things that you're supposed to know as we start looking at functions. Okay, so I'm gonna share the presentation slides. That is what I'm going to share so that we can have a base as we start looking at what Excel functions and features. Great. Supposed to be Excel functions and data visualization, but anyway, this is okay. All right, so we are going to start looking at functions. Okay, and by the end of this lesson, we should be able to work with function, to use conditional formatting, and also what? Data visualization. Okay, so we are going to move on and start looking at Excel formulas. Okay, so formulas in Excel, basically they help us to do some analysis. Yeah, they help us to do some analysis and also to solve some logical problems that we might have. You know, basically just to analyze our data and also to find some logical to solve logical problems. That's what we use formulas for. Okay, the same idea, the same concept of formulas in mathematics. It is the same concept even in Excel. You're going to have this formula that is going to help you to solve a certain problem. Okay, maybe you want to find the product of certain values, you are going to have this formula that is going to help you find the product of those values. So when we say functions, we are basically referring to the embedded functions which Excel has. You know, the formulas which whereby Excel already understands them. Okay. Let me just get this definition so that we understand. So a function, they're basically built-in formulas. Okay, it has a name and it also has what? Arguments. So Excel has functions. For instance, there are certain names and there are certain there's a certain syntax that you're supposed to use if you want to use an Excel function. Okay, in order for Excel to understand that what you're typing now is a function or what you're typing now is a formula, you have to use certain keywords and there's a certain syntax that you're supposed to use. So functions are built-in formulas, in short. Okay, so we are going to go on. And before we actually go back to Excel, I should mention that in order for you to create any formula in Excel, you have to select the cell. So you're going to click inside the cell where you want that formula to go, or where the result of the formula you're typing is supposed to go. You're going to select the cell. When you select it, it becomes an active cell. We know that. Okay. For instance, here, the illustration that is here, A2, that is where the formula is meant to go. So they've selected A2. Okay, and then you enter and you type an equal sign. Every time you type an equal sign in Microsoft Excel, Excel understands that you're trying to.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I'm not able to see the formula. I'm not able to see what you are presenting. What you are presenting, I'm not able to see it on the screen.
Can you see it now?
Yeah. No, I'm only seeing your letter, the first letter of it.
Is that the case for everyone?
That's all.
No, I'm able to see the screen.
Maybe it's a
I'm
network.
able to see it.
Try to go out of the meeting and then join in again. I think it's your network. Okay, we shall proceed. All right. So I was saying you have to type an equal sign. When you type an equal sign, Excel automatically understands that what you want to type here is a what? It is a formula. Okay. When you're done typing the formula, you type what? Enter, and you will be able to get the results of that that formula. What else can we look at? Okay, so the other thing I should mention is that as you are typing the formula, you can see all of it on the formula bar. No wonder this part is called the formula bar, because when you're typing a formula, you can if you are typing it in this particular cell, when you look at the formula bar, you'll be able to see it. And the other thing is that when you get the result of this formula, the formula bar is still going to display the formula, but that particular cell where you were typing, it's going to show the result of that formula. Okay.
Hello, I've rejoined the meeting, but I'm not able to see the formula.
You're unable to see the screen still. On your end, it's as if I'm not sharing the screen.
Yes, I'm unable to see the formula.
So you're just seeing my letter, like you're seeing an arrow on the screen.
Yes, on the screen what I'm seeing is only the first letter of your name.
Ish. I don't know. It's a network on your end. because everyone else is able to see, so I don't know, I can't help you on my end. You can only try to fix it on your end. You can try to move out of the meeting again and then rejoin. Understand? Okay, great. So basically
Yes, I get you. Okay, let me try to link a new thing.
okay, great. All right, so now I'm going to go back to Excel so that I can illustrate what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm gonna go back to Excel. Okay. So we are going to use this same data that we have here. Okay. So I mentioned that when you want to type a formula, you select the cell where you want your results to go. In this case, I've selected E3. Okay. I've selected E3, and I've also mentioned that you always start your formula with a what? With an equal sign. So I'm going to type an equal sign in what? In E3. Let's say we want to add 50 and 40. We want to add the content which is in C3 and also D3. And we want the results to be in E3. Okay? So I'm going to type an equal sign. When I type an equal sign, I just want to show you something here before we start looking at we start using the actual functions which are in Excel. I just want to show you that when you type a formula, you can actually use the normal operations that we're already familiar with, the plus sign, the minus sign, even times. Okay, but for times you need to use an asterisk. Of course, we are familiar with that. When you're working with a computer, if you want to multiply, you use what? A star sign to symbolize multiplication. Okay, so we can say we can refer to this cell. We don't have to write the actual. Okay, we can write 50 plus 40, or we can write C3 plus D3, and we'll still get the same results. Okay, so let's just write 50 plus 40, and then we click what? Enter, and we'll be able to get the results there. Okay, or alternatively, I'm going to go on the formula bar. Notice what I do. On the formula bar, I'm going to delete 50 and 40. I'm going to put C, that's C3. I mean C3 and not C2. C3 plus D3. Oh, that's D3. And then I'm going to click what? Enter, and I'm still going to get the what? The results. Okay. So basically that is how you do it. And if we want to subtract, we can just change where there is a plus sign here and put a what? A minus sign.
Can't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, where you are saying if you want to enter minus, I
Uh-huh.
would like you to repeat.
Yeah, so I said I'm going to delete a plus sign in between C3 and D3. You're able to see that, right?
Please come again.
But have you understood on the addition part?
No, where you need that. I haven't understood in C3 and D3.
Oh,
We are bumping.
okay. Okay, so I said that at first I wrote the actual content which is inside this cell. This cell is called what? C3, because it's on column C and it's on row number 3. So it's called C3. So if you want to refer to this cell in a formula or a function, you type C3 here, right? We are together up to there.
Also, I mean, you can still type without highlighting.
You can either type or highlight. So you can click on it, it will be selected if you're writing a formula, and you can also click on it and it will be highlighted and it will be selected. Okay? Is that okay? So I'm just gonna go back. I'm going to type an equal sign. An equal sign like that. And then when I type an equal sign, I can just select C3 like this. You notice what happens? It is selected. Okay? And then I'm also going, when I select this one, I need to add a sign here, which is a plus sign. Okay? And then I'm also going to select the other one here. Of course, I've done an overwrite because the cell which was supposed to be active was supposed to be E3 and not D3. So I'm just going to put back the 14 here. Then I'm going to type the formula again. So I said you always start with an equal sign, and then you select. We are going to select. I've done the same again. So I'm going to type 40 here again. Then I'm going to make this cell active. So you see why it's very important the cell where you want your results to go to be active. It's somewhere else, you're going to mess up your data. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that this one is active, this cell is active, because that's where I want the results to go. So I'm going to type an equal sign. Okay, when I type an equal sign, I'm going to select C3. Then I'm going to say plus. Then I'm going to choose D3. You notice there we have the formula of C3 plus D3. Then I'm going to click enter. And we are going to have the answer. 50 minus 40, plus 40 is It's 90. Okay? And if we want to subtract, we can do the same. We can just go in between here. Instead of a plus sign, this time around we add the we add a minus sign. Then we click enter, and we are going to have 10. Okay, when you click inside that cell where the results are, you can check the formula on the formula bar and you'll be able to see the results in this cell. Okay, the other thing I should be quick to mention is that you can autofill your formula. If the way we have found the answer for the first student, who is Mary Mwanza. If you want to get the results for John, Peter, and Judy, we take our marker here. Remember, I mentioned this in our last in our lecture when I was talking about this. If you want to autofill, you take your cursor at the corner where there's a green dot, and when you take your cursor there, your cursor is going to turn into a bold plus sign. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
When it becomes like that, then you hold and drag it down. You are sharing the formula to the rest of the students. So you are going to get results for John, which is 20. You are going to get results for Peter, which is 5, and you're also going to get results for Judy, which is a negative because the first number is less than the second number. Okay, have you understood so far? So I'm just going to show you how to write formulas, and then we're going to start looking at the embedded functions, the inbuilt functions which are in Excel. Are we okay so far?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yes, suppose, for example, what's this? The contents there, like them are numbers, and then you want like to do the what's this, to add in the numbers. Can you do the same like what you've just done, like what you're just from zero?
Like autofill?
Yes.
Like you write one number and then you fill it to the rest?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We actually looked at this last time. For instance, you can just write the one there, and then you take your case at the corner here, and then when you drag it down, you're going to have the same number. And if you want the same number, that's okay. But if you don't want the same number, you can click on the last part where there's an option for you to edit, and then you decide how exactly you want it to be filled. So you can click on fill series, and then you're going to have the numbers which are following each other like that, 1 to 10.
Okay.
Great. So that,
I think if you can send the recording for the previous class, you'll do me a very great, a good favor.
yes, I will do that. I apologize. I should have sent it by now. So I'm just going to undo this, and then we are going to continue. Okay. Also, if you want to multiply, you can go back to this formula. Notice you can just keep editing this formula. I'm just going to go back on the formula, delete the plus sign, the minus sign, and then I'm going to add a star, which is the symbol for for multiplication. Okay, I'm going to add an asterisk. Yeah, I hope that's correct. I'm going to add an asterisk, which is a symbol for multiplication in Excel, and then I'm just gonna click enter, and then I'll get the results. 50 times 40, that is the answer. You can do it manually and you prove it that those are the results. So you can also autofill the results like that. Okay, so basically that is how you can type a formula from scratch. Now we are going to move on and look at some functions in Excel. So let's say we want to add, I'm just gonna undo this. Yeah, yes. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. So let's assume we want to add these, but we want to use an embedded function, an inbuilt function in Excel. Okay, so you simply go on the Insert tab, apologies, I thought we want to insert something. You go under formulas. When you go under formulas here, you find a lot of you actually find a function library. A function library has all the functions that you need for logical tests. Okay. You find different functions that you need for logical tests, for text, for date and time, lookup, math and trig, all these financial, whatever kind of functions that you need. But for now, we are going to click on insert function. Remember, I said we want to find the sum. Maybe we want to find the total mark. Okay, we want to get the total mark for the results. Let me just type total here, like that. Let's say we want to get the total marks for the students. So we are going to click on insert. First, you make sure that the cell where the results will go is active. When you go under function, when you click on it, it's going to a dialog box is going to pop up. This is a dialog box which has all the functions that you need. Okay, if you if you can't find the function here, it's not on the recently used function, you can come here where it's saying type a brief description of what you want to do and then click go. So you can just delete that and then type sum. Sum is the function that we use if we want to add to find the total. Yes, please.
I'm sorry, I see how you are doing the function.
Or how I ended up here.
That's on this function, but the previous one I'm okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back. Okay, so I said if you want to insert a function, you go to formulas. Under the tabs, we have the home tab, insert, page layout, and formulas. And then here we have a function library. This is our function library. And then if you want to insert a function, we want to find the total marks for each student, we are going to click under insert function. When you click on insert function, you're going to have a dialog box. This dialog box, this is where you choose a function that you want to use from. For instance, the functions that I've used recently here, we have sum, we have average, we have if, we have hyperlink, we have count, we have max, and we also have sign. If you want to see all the function, you can go under category here where it's saying select category. When you choose all, it's going to give you all the functions which are available. You will see the list it's long and they're arranged in alphabetical order. There are a lot of functions, some of them you even never use them. We are going to look at just a few in order for you to get the idea of how functions work. So these are the functions which are there. Okay, it's hard for you to find your function using this method. So usually, no wonder I said you can come under where it's saying type a brief description of what you want to do and then go and then click go. So if you want to add, you can say I want to add addition, something like that. But if you already know the name of the functions that you're looking for, you don't have to write a description. You're just going to type the name. Okay, in this case I mentioned that if you want to add, you use the sum function. When you type sum, you just click go. Okay, when you click go, the function that you want, which is sum, is supposed to pop up. I don't know what has happened. Just give it time. Okay, just give it a little bit of time. Okay, here it is. So if we've searched for sum and here it is, it's highlighted, it's in blue. So all you have to do here is to say okay. When you say okay, I'm unable to see this dialog box which has popped up on the screen that I'm using for sharing. So I'm assuming you too, you're unable to see it. Is anyone following through? And they're doing exactly what I'm doing on my screen? No one? Okay. So when you click on OK, a dialog box with function arguments is going to pop up. Okay, the function arguments are basically the cells that you want, where the data is that you want to add. Okay, we have the first argument being what? Number 1. The second argument being number 2. So you can either write C3 on number 1 and then write D3 or number 2, or you can give Excel a range of cells, which is what you are seeing on top here. Are you able to see what's on the formula bar?
Yes.
So on the what's on the formula bar is exactly what's on the dialog box, which you are unable to see. So there is a equal sign. You don't actually have to type the equal sign if you're using a function. You're just going to choose the function that you want, and then the syntax is already there for you because it's an inbuilt function. Okay, so we have an equal sign, then we have sum, then we have brackets, then we have this is the range of cells that you want to add. So it could actually be C3 to maybe H3. It could actually be C3 to maybe L3. It's basically a range, which means that everything that's in between C3 and D3. When I say everything that's in between C3 and D3, it might not make sense because what's there? There's nothing. But the idea that I'm trying to put across is that the range of cells could actually be maybe everything that's in between C3 maybe to J3. You understand the idea? Do you understand? Okay. Okay, let's find the answer for this one, then let me add some content so that you see exactly what I mean. So we are just going to click OK, and then we are going to have the results. Okay. So when we have the results, we can share the formula with the rest of the student, and we have the total for each student. Notice what happens when I make this cell active. The formula for that cell is what I will see. When I go in the next one, which is E4, you notice that the cell range changes. We have the cells for what? We have C4 to D4. And then when I move to the next one, we have C5 to D5. So what Excel does, it looks at the pattern and then it follows it, and then it autofills the results for the rest of the for the rest of the students. So what I was explaining when I said a range of cells, let's just try to add all the math results for these students. I think that's the best way I can explain this, because it's going to give us the range from C3 maybe to C7. Then that can make sense. So I'm going to go back and yeah, in fact, let's use another function. Let's say we want to multiply. We want to multiply everything from all the math results for this student. We want to multiply them. I don't know what we would be looking for, but I just want to illustrate something. So I'm just going to click on insert function, and then under what we are looking for this time around, the function that you use if you want to multiply in Microsoft Excel, it's called the what? What's the name of the function? Any ideas? I know you have some bright ideas with you. Anyone? Yes?
What is your question?
The name of the function that you use if you want to multiply values in Excel.
The function fx.
fx. Okay. Let's see if we have a function called fx. I'm just gonna type f and x. Then I'm going to click go. Excel doesn't understand that. Any other ideas? Okay, great.
Is it not just a star?
Okay. No. It has to be a name. The same way we had sum, it has to be a name. Okay, so the name is products. You know the product of? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the name is product. If you want to multiply, you use the function called product. Okay.
Show us how it looks like.
So this is the name product. You're able to see what I've typed, and then you click on go. And then we've searched for it, so it's here where you select a function from. It's already selected, it's in blue. So I'm just gonna click OK. When I click OK, are you able to see the formula in the formula bar? Excel actually makes things so easy. It actually gives you a range in advance. You know, we were supposed to type after we select product, we are supposed to type maybe we are supposed to see, okay, what do we want to multiply? We want to multiply everything that's in C3 going down. Let me just okay. So we want to multiply everything that's in C3 going down up to C6. We are supposed to select that, but we don't have to do it because Excel gives us a range in advance. If where the results are, it's straight with where what you're multiplying is. For instance, they're in the same column. So Excel will automatically understand what you're trying to do. If the answer is here, meaning you want to multiply everything that's on top here. That's what Excel does. So it's going to give you a range in advance. If, for instance, you don't want to include the results for Jude, you can just change it on your own. You're just going to come back here, and then you're going to go up to Peter. And then the range of cells will change. You're able to see here, it's no longer going up to 6, it's only going up to 5, right? So basically that is what Excel does. So we are just going to choose everything up to Judy, and we are going to click what? OK or enter. I'm just going to click OK, and we'll get the results here. Okay, so this right here on the formula bar, C3 to C6, that is a range of cells. So it's multiplying everything that's in between C3 and C6. Do you understand that? It's multiplying 50 times 30 times 20 times 40. Not only 50 and 40, no. When there's a full colon in here, it means that it is a range of cells. So this function refers to everything that's in between C3 to C6. Do you understand?
Oh, yes. Yes, me, I do.
Great. Do we all understand? Okay, great. So basically this is how you use function. Okay, so we've used the product for multiplication and also the sum function for multiplication. Let's use one more function so that we end here today, and then we're going to look at some logical functions next time we meet, such as the if function. Yeah. So the other function that I'm going to use, which are under the simple operations that we are familiar with, is the let's see, which one can we use? Okay, let's say we want to subtract. Okay, we want to subtract. So now we have to find the function that is used for subtraction. Okay, and the name of the function that is used for subtraction is IMSUB, like that. Okay, IMSUB, and then you click go, and then it's here, it's selected. you just click OK. Okay. And you're going to give it a range. You're going to say this one and also what? This one. Okay. And then you're going to click OK. What is it saying? You've entered a few arguments for this function. Okay. It needs a big range of cells, so I'm just gonna, let's try to it requires that I enter the actual arguments on the dialog box for arguments, but then you're unable to see it, so I'm just going to, how best can I do this, because I don't know why you're unable to see the dialog box. So let me just go back again. Let me just delete everything. Then I'm going to go back to insert function. Then we have selected IM sub. And then under the function arguments, I wish someone was following on the other end. Under the function argument for IM sub, we have number 1. Okay. Under number 1, you're going to put what? C3. Okay. So we're going to put C3 under number 1. And then under number 2, you're going to put what? D3. We're going to put D3 and then we're going to click what? OK. And we shall get the results like that. Okay. So it refused at first because this is not a range of cells. We are subtracting. You can only subtract one number from the other, right? So you have to enter the arguments one by one and not create a range. Okay, so meaning you have to put a comma in between. Okay, so that is how you subtract. So I'm just gonna share the formula to the rest, and there it is. That is how you subtract. So we have looked at a few functions today. I have showed you how you write functions in Excel and how you can manually type these formulas in Excel. Are there any questions?